according to the source, the council would have to raise property taxes 2.5%. How much in taxes can we absorb? This country is built on taxes. We overthrew the British because of taxes. That's why we are in America today. The fact is this here. How can we go on with a deal which... Go over there.
And Mr. Nunez, before we get going too far on this council has already told the manager we're not going to raise taxes. We're going to have to cut that $1 million.
I have to see that for myself when I get my bill from the bank. You went ahead and you had the performing art people, the task force, committee, whatever you want to call them. Where are they getting money to come along and get all these here facts and figures and so forth? The Coliseum is in the red. It has been in the red many years. Matt Brown's doing a crappy job as far as I'm concerned if it's in the red. If you want the performing arts, let private enterprise take it over. Let these people who want it, let them shell out the money for it. Not us. $60 million is a lot of scratch, and that's a lot of money, a lot of taxes as far as it goes. Let the private enterprise do it. Maybe it'll be more successful that way. If they can do it, let them go to the bank and get the money to back this here thing up. Not us. That's what banks are for. Let them pay the interest on the loans and so forth. Not us. We give $60 million. That's not only the $60 million, but we're also going to pay the tax on that, the interest on it. No matter how you look at it, we're going to get in the nose. It's time the little people should be thought of, not the big guy where the elite go to eat. Can't afford it as far as it goes. I go to McDonald's. I cannot go to 32 or anything like that. But give us a break. If you want to have a...
Thank you, Mr.
You're welcome.
Martinez. Appreciate it. Sal Leon, followed by Charles Cherry.
Sadly, on 3324 Van Allen Circle. This year I made 2 years resolutions. One was to lose weight and one was to be positive. The positive thing is turning out pretty good so far. I want to commend Chief Miller on his job and his men and women of his department for the recent crime reduction. I just want to give him a good clap and congratulations, so I'm going to stay positive. I don't think Chief Miller's here. I know I stepped out, but good job, Chief.
Thank you, Sal. That saves some time. Mr. Cherry.
Charles Cherry, 2104 Liberty Valley Road. Robbie, at the last meeting, you allowed a white man to walk up to the dais and give you documentation. Later in the meeting, I followed your changing of the rule and the white man's actions. I walked up to the dais to give you documentation. Council members screamed out for me to back off, stating I knew the rules, opposed me for approaching the dais, and summoned the GPD to intimidate or arrest me. The fact that I have never posed a physical threat did not matter. The fact that I had been searched did not matter. The fact that I have been a speaker from the floor for the past 20 months did not matter. The fact that I was a stellar GPD officer and commander for 23 years did not matter. The fact that I was well-dressed and articulate did not matter. The fact that I am educated with an MBA did not matter. The fact that I was following the lead of a white man did not matter. The fact that I was following your changing of the rule did not matter. The fact that I'm going to return to the city did not matter. The fact that I love and fear God did not matter. The only thing that mattered is that I am black. The only thing that mattered is that I am black. Robbie, your actions are consistent with that of a racist. If you are not racist, then why does Chief Ken Miller allow white officers to refer to minorities using racial epithets? Why did Chief Ken Miller allow a white professional standards division officer to lie on black Reverend Nelson Johnson and use the lie to terminate a Hispanic officer? Why did Ken Miller allow a white officer to use excessive force on black 87-year-old Eva Foster? And Robbie, why was a white man allowed to approach the dais, but I, a black man, was nearly arrested for approaching? Yvonne, imagine that I'm a white man or a tree. Please tell me who council has designated to investigate my complaints against City Attorney Majid Shakan and City Manager Denise Turner Roth, and when will I speak with the investigator?
Madam Manager, would you answer that for Mr. Cherry, please?
She can't investigate herself.
She can tell you who.
is going to investigate her.
I'm sorry, Counsel, I'm assuming that this is relevant to one of the numerous requests that we received from Mr. Cherry for the items that have a need for follow-up and investigation. We do look at all of the items that he sends in, and we have investigations done as appropriate. In terms of counsel directing any investigations, that's not occurring at this time.
I know we're not, but who is doing the investigations?
Just in general, there's been a
On you and
number.
Mr. Chacon.
There are
you
no
and Mr. Chacon.
investigations occurring on myself or the city attorney.
So a citizen cannot complain on the city manager and city attorney.
Yes, a citizen can complain.
Okay, who would do the investigations if they are your direct subordinates? Who conducts the investigations on the city attorney and the city manager?
All right, we're not going to solve this tonight. Thank you.
I'm just asking for a
Thank you,
simple.
thank you, Mr. Cherry.
So no one can complain. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Please.
The council could. The council has the power to do so, Mr. Cherry.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so why has that not happened? And you have several legitimate complaints written and stamped that received by you that have not been answered.
Well, I'm not the mayor, and I'm
But they're
one
not council
person.
members.
And
Anyone can answer.
nobody.
Mr. Cherry, thank you.
Like I said, the fact that I'm educated, the only thing that matters is that I'm a black man.
Mr. Cherry, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Smith?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. My name is Rock Smith Jr., 3605 Wilshire Drive, Greensboro. I built and operate Greensboro101.com, a website that collects and links to the latest news, blogs, tweets, and videos from the people of Greensboro. Last week, the City of Greensboro attempted to censor local newspaper Yes Weekly. Police Attorney Jim Clark and Police Chief Ken Miller secretly filed a lawsuit without notifying Yes Weekly that attempted to get a judge to stop Yes Weekly from publishing a story about police surveillance. I find this action shocking. Not only was this stunt an affront to the legal principles against prior restraint well established for decades since the Supreme Court ruled on the Pentagon Papers, it was a brutal assault on government transparency in its underlying purpose, which was to hide from the public information about the police spying on law-abiding citizens. This is not the Greensboro I thought I knew, nor is it the one in which I think we want to live. Doug Clark, editorial writer for the News and Record, described this stunt as, quote, bizarre and disturbing, unquote. He's right. He also said, quote, City Council must demand a full accounting of police surveillance policies and activities, unquote. He's right about that, too. But this is just the latest and most disgraceful episode of a larger problem, an ongoing, adversarial, and overly secretive approach by the city's legal departments towards the public's right to know what our government is up to. Since last July, I've been trying to obtain records from the city about the extent to which the City of Greensboro surveils and monitors the public at large. Those of us not suspected of any crime or evoking suspicion, but just going about our daily business. How, when, why, and for whom is the City of Greensboro watching us? The city has successfully kept that information secret, largely by citing laws intended to stop terrorism. The citizens of Greensboro need to assert themselves, through our elected representatives, as the overseers of our local government, not its children, not its subjects, and change the city's posture towards one of genuine openness and transparency and away from the kind of secrecy that has earned us the rare and appalling distinction of being a city that has tried to censor a newspaper.
Okay. Wind it up.
The city's approach to public records is broken. I'll leave it up to you to decide how best to get there, but I'm asking specifically for City Council to take some type of concrete action that will expeditiously result in public, City Council-approved set of directives that instruct city employees how to approach public records requests. One that will reorient our city away from secrecy and confrontation and towards cooperation and real transparency. Will you please begin this undertaking as soon as possible?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Joe Eisler, please. Followed by Michael Roberto, followed by Addie Jeffrey?
Hi, my name is Joe Isler, and I live at 2009 Fire Run Drive, Greensboro. I want to talk to you tonight about a motivated group of volunteers who are trying to bring a food co-op to the Bessemer Shopping Center on Phillips Avenue. This group is the Renaissance Community Co-op Committee. If you wonder why we chose a co-op, I will tell you. Number one, because no commercial grocery store has been shown an interest in the site since the Winn-Dixie closed at least 15 years ago. Two, a food co-op would bring better nutrition to the community with freshly locally grown produce and baked goods. We would also carry local and regional products whenever possible. Three, a food co-op would bring much-needed jobs to the community. Four, the food co-op plans to have a conference room where we could offer classes on healthy eating and healthy preparation of food. This could also be a gathering place for the community. Five, a food co-op would bring a sense of ownership to the community. Pride of ownership means a lot these days. People have a say in how their stores run. Six, a locally owned co-op food store is less likely to close or move to another part of town like a commercial grocery store may. Seven, a food co-op keeps money circulating in the community. The money will not be going home to some corporate headquarters out of town. I am excited about the possibilities of a food co-op that food co-op brings and the chance to work with the committee on getting it all started. This neighborhood is a food desert and desperately needs a grocery store that is convenient to the community. I hope that you would join with the Renaissance Community Co-op Committee to learn more about the food co-op and possibly join us in becoming a member. Co-ops rock. Thank you.
Ms. Abuzawa?
I just want to make a comment and thank Mrs. Isler because I've seen this co-op start from its infancy, the committee and everything like that, and it's been a wonderful collaboration between the community, people all over Greensboro, and colleges and universities and perhaps high schools. So I just wanted to thank you and the committee, and keep up the good work because I think it's something we sorely need in Greensboro.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Roberto?
And Ms. Jeffrey does not want to speak.
Okay. Michael Roberto, 317 South Chapman Street, District 4. I want to begin by just thanking a whole lot of people who were not thanked tonight about the Performing Arts Center. I want to thank all of the citizens who made it clear that if we were going to get this thing, it wasn't going to be on the backs of working people and the poor. It wasn't going to be about $40 million coming from the city. So there were a lot of thank yous given out tonight, but I wanted to make sure that I thanked all of my citizens who came out here on countless occasions to make things right. Now, the other reason I'm here, and Mr. Mayor, I wish you would, I planned 3 minutes, I wish you'd give me a little latitude here. I'm extremely upset about this article in Yes Weekly, and I'm upset for two reasons. First of all, the targeting of Mary Kay Abuzawader is really reprehensible. It was shoddy journalism, people. And let me tell you, I grilled my friend Mary Kay Abuzawader all weekend long. All weekend long, I put myself in a position of a journalist, and since I am a former journalist, I have a little bit of expertise here. And she is my friend, and I grilled her, and I am convinced that she is no more a confidential informant than anybody else who sought police protection for a protest demonstration rally. So I think we need to revisit that. But I think that the bigger thing here is, again, the culture of the Greensboro Police Department. Something really needs to be opened up here. For one thing, I don't like the idea that there were 5 cops monitoring Occupy Greensboro, as if a bunch of people sitting around in a bookstore were terrorists planning the overthrow of the U.S. government. That is absolutely reprehensible and stupid and a waste of our money. But it goes much more deeply than that. Who gets to determine in this city who the subversives are? Who gets to decide who's an enemy of the people? Who gets to decide who is spied upon and not spied upon? This really opens up a can of worms, folks, at a time when everything is opening up to the public, and I hope that the council gets to the bottom of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Griswold, followed by Nancy Radke, followed by Larry Morse.
Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I did. Mr. Roberto, I thank you for coming forward for me. I've spoken to probably 60, 70 people over the last week. I would like to say and make a public statement that I have been involved for 20, 30 years in many, many candlelight vigils, peace gatherings. I have been involved in numerous places where many, many children have been around. And actually, we were in a candlelight vigil on Wendover Avenue, and a van pulled up. People got out, started screaming at me and the children. If anyone in this room thinks I did not call 911, and I did not work with the police for every rally, every candlelight vigil we had after that, they are mistaken. I stand behind what I did. I will continue to stand behind what I did. And I believe 100% in our First Amendment rights to gather peacefully, to have our safety secured when we are gathering peacefully, and for candlelight vigils, and any other thing we would like to gather about.
Well, Councilwoman Abelswader, you are my friend, and I felt that it was absolutely essential to come out in your defense tonight, because this is a community, and it's also about trusting people. You know, we talk a lot about business, but we don't talk a lot about trust and civic virtue, and that's why I came out to you. I think, on the basis of my read of that article, I think you had a bunch of cops sitting around dreaming up stories about you, and I think we need to get to the bottom of it.
Thank you.